There we go. Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Amanda Miller. I run this gig, but it's on behalf of EFT Universe and Dr. Dawson Church. I'm so happy to have you here today. If this is your first time, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. What we do here for the next hour is a live EFT session. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's okay. It is a group of technique tools that are used to alleviate overwhelm, trauma, things that are happening right now, things that you're worried about in the future, things that happened in the past. All of it applies. If you don't know how to do it yet, don't worry. It is fairly simple in terms of application. You'll pick it up as we go along. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's also known as tapping because this is what it looks like. So feel free to follow along with me as we go. And by the end of the session, you'll have it down. If you aren't new to EFT, please feel free to follow at your own pace. So, I'm leading a group. So if my words don't quite match you, please take on the empowerment to change it to whatever word does match for you best. If I'm tapping on a spot and you don't want to be here anymore, you want to move through, you want to something, please follow what you feel is the best for your body, because receiving those signals is exactly what we're looking to communicate with. So please go ahead and indulge those. Don't feel like, oh, but she's the teacher, I have to do what she's doing. You don't. Please empower yourself. Alrighty. If you would like to participate today, you don't have to. You can always just follow along and apply whatever I say the best that it can be to what you're going through. But if you would like to be specific, we do have a live chat that's happening. I do check it multiple times throughout the session, and then I incorporate as many things as I can together. Um, so it's always helpful to have as many suggestions as possible so that I know how to best advocate for our group and what we're all going through today as a community. If it feels too vulnerable to put it out there in front of the entire world on the internet, don't worry. You can always email me and I will be able to bring it up at the next tapping session anonymously so that you can still see how to tap on said issue. Also, if you have questions and whatnot, I'm happy to answer those via email. I don't go a lot into the science pretty much ever. Except to maybe clarify some little detail during this, because what I want you to do here is experience it, because learning all about it is really, really cool. All the science behind this, all the validation, all of the clinical trials, really cool stuff to read about. But feeling your body let go of something that you haven't been able to let go of previously is incredibly powerful. So that's the intention of this space and this time. So I don't have any emails. Oh, and I didn't mention this. My email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it out loud. It is Amanda, Amanda, at EFTuniverse.com. Okay, so if you want to email me, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and say hi. Hi, Sally. Oh, from Australia. Nice to have you here. Living my spirit. Hi from Indiana. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Donette. Hey, Richard. Hi, Christina. Please tell us about your Friday events and other events you have. You're very welcome for all that I do. It is all for you. So you're very, very welcome. Hi, Gata. Glad to have you back. Christina, the Friday events it's just a video that I post. So it is still on this channel, which is EFT Universe, just on YouTube. If you do a search on the YouTube landing page, then our channel will pop up and you'll be able to find hundreds of videos. I do create them according to what I receive from our community. So if you have a question, if there's something you're struggling with, if you're not quite sure, what is this technique? I'm happy to do like an example, take a mini session, or just verbally go through some of the science or through some of the schematics of the tool sets that is EFT. Um, if there are other events that EFT Universe is having on our own website, EFTuniverse.com, We have an events listing where there's live virtual events and live in-person events that you could check out there. And if I didn't quite answer your question, please feel free to email me and we can talk more in depth about it. Um, Alrighty. Well, I don't have any emails from our community to bring to you here today. So, whatever you have on your mind, whatever is facing you today, and it could be something big, something that feels so overwhelming you can't possibly think about anything else. It could be something small. It could be something that is new. It could be something that's been persistent your whole life. It could be something that you're just curious about. You could say, is it possible for me to have closer friendships? I have a lot of friends in my life, but I kind of feel like they're acquaintances. I don't really feel like I have a best friend. Is it possible for me to have a best friend? That's a good question to ask because there might be something blocking you from allowing you to have a deeper connection with people. And that's a beautiful way to start tapping into it. So just know it can be anywhere on the spectrum of what your experience is. Everything is helpful because everything strengthens that bridge between you and your subconscious brain. So don't ever feel like, but tapping on a little thing, I should do a big one. If you don't feel like you can, like you have the energy or the emotional capacity for a big thing today, then hear yourself. And it's great to have progress in increments in whatever size those increments are. Okay, let's see. Hi, Mama Hedge. So grateful to be here for spending the night. Oh, in the ER. Well, I'm really glad that you're okay. May not be a blood pressure issue, but driven by trauma. Okay, that happens very often where people go into the ER and it actually is more psychologically founded. I don't want to say emotionally based because that sounds dismissive. Even psychologically founded sounds a little dismissive. Um, but hopefully you know what I mean because you said yourself might be could be trauma based, where it's based in something other than just strictly like a metabolistic or chemical event happening in your body. Um, Very very common. Waiting on MRI results. So glad to be here from North Carolina. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm very happy to assist you in that. If you want to be more specific on any particular part of that, because there's a lot to unpack there for tapping a day, feel free to comment more. Um, Hi, Lauren. Oh, my husband died on 5/6 after a decade of illness. Yes, I'm feeling very scattered. Okay. Trying to be kind to myself, good. Trying to prioritize to-dos. Can we tap on balancing of emotions? Absolutely. I would also offer tapping on giving yourself permission to set things down and kind of compartmentalize so that you can find more space to do a thing. Okay, nodules. I have benign enlargements in my thyroid. I want to do tapping to reduce the size of them. Can this happen? There are lots of stories by medical professionals of tapping, assisting the body in shifting towards an outcome that is physical. So I can't give you any sort of guarantee, but I can tell you it has happened for other physical things previously. So I appreciate you bringing that up, and I love the opportunity to show you how you can tap on that. It certainly won't do any harm. Hi, Dr. Scott. I'm happy you're here too. Okay, Christina, tapping on caregiver overwhelm and exhaustion. I hear you. Okay. Oh, Mama Hutch, thank you for your support to Lauren. Gada, I managed previously to adjust the thyroid hormones through tapping without medicine. Oh, that's great. Good for you. That's amazing. Okay, Dr. Scott, somatic issues affect the body regardless of what causes them. Yes, very well said. Okay, and Stephen. Hi, Amanda. Hello, Stephen. Since emotions manifest as physical, and can we tap on letting go of physical sensations? Yes, we can, such as heaviness or tension that embody emotions, such as anxiety or unhappiness. Absolutely. And there, just to give you the name of it, there is a clinically tested EFT tool called Chasing the Pain. That's all that tool is all about. And it's a little, the name of it is a little misleading because it's not about pain necessarily. It's about addressing the body from body sensations. So if you don't know about Chasing the Pain technique, now you have the name for it. If you want to look into it more. Hi, Karen. Hard decisions greatly impacting evening emotional eating. Okay. So just overwhelm, and then you're going to your comfort that isn't your favorite, but it works for what you've got for now. And I'm guessing you would like a better choice, something that you could be happier with. Jordan, I'm happy that you're here too. I'm glad that you came. Thank you. Um, okay, Mama Hutch, too many unknowns. Thank you for that clarification. Danette, emotional eating is a challenge. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because there's a physical response, right? Because there's a chemical response that happens when we eat, when we don't know how else to receive that relief. Um, Sue, giving my power and money away when I don't need to. Boy, there's a lot to unpack in that one too. And thank you for suggesting that. Okay, Dr. Scott, are you referring to night eating syndrome? Okay, so it looks like you might be getting some outside assistance here, Karen. If you care to continue that conversation with Dr. Scott. Jordan, hoping to tap on connecting with my mind and body. Anxiety has been very high, struggling to calm myself down and not overthink. When I am anxious, I struggle to believe that I am safe. Thank you so much for the way that you said that and your clarity there. I feel like that's so relatable. That's a beautiful way to state that. So I really, really appreciate that. That hits a lot of really solid points. And I think a lot of people struggle to articulate that clearly. So really thank you for that. Hi, Lois from Maryland. Glad that you're here. Hi, Trisha. Okay. Looks like the body is a big issue today. Happy to tap on that. Okay, so another vote for the body. I agree. Okay, so let me like big emotions, unknown, feeling out of center, feeling out of sorts for whatever reason, just really kind of knocked off kilter, which just means like knocked out of alignment. Um, and really feeling it in the body or feelings in the body causing the out of balance feelings, but really a strong crossing point between those two is what I feel like I'm reading from all of your comments, which thank you everybody so much for all of this. We didn't get grounded yet. So let's do that real fast to kind of pull ourselves into this moment. And then we'll get to tapping. Okay, so go ahead and take a breath, just whatever feels good to you right here. And let it out loud. And then let yourself take a few normal breaths. We're going to do that again. And we're going to groan and moan when we let it out, okay? Let's do another breath in and out. Really let your body posture just relax in whatever way that feels good for you. Don't force it. But if you can, just let your limbs go. Let your head droop. Let your back curve. We're not going to stay here for long. It's not going to have any lasting effect on your posture. You're going to be just fine. But we're sending signals to our body to relax. But this is a place where it's okay to and just breathe. Okay, now go ahead and start wiggling your body. Maybe it looks like swaying. Maybe it looks like rocking. And just gently kind of setting yourself back up to wherever feels good. Don't force yourself to sit up super rigid and straight if that's not where you are right now. If what feels good is to stretch your arms up, maybe open a little bit. If stretching does not sound good, don't force it. Maybe holding yourself in sounds good. Maybe holding like this and rocking sounds good. Whatever it is, just give yourself a few moments of this physical response that feels supportive. And maybe it's touch. Maybe it's touching your own arms, your own face. I know a lot of people do this in stress, right? There's a reason we do this. It's actually a signal for balance and calming in our nervous system. We do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. So many things. So if any of those feel relaxing to you, a different instructor taught me holding here, these two hands. We're just going to give ourselves this little bit of extra grounding time today. And just continue to breathe and feel into your body and whatever it is that your body is asking for, whatever motion that is, that sounds like it'll feel good to you. Okay. And let's take another breath together. And then as you're sitting here, go ahead and visualize the different parts of your body. And if they have different percentages of feeling good, okay, present, whatever word fits for you, go ahead and imagine what those numbers would be. Like your head. How present is your head right now? Mine said 58%. I don't know why. That's just the number that came out, and I'm going to accept it. I'm going to ask my shoulders. How present are my shoulders? Oh, my shoulders said 38%. Okay, and my arms. Oh, my arms said 14%. My goodness. Okay, and how about trunk? So this whole middle part of your body where all of these organs are, from like your collarbones down to like your hip cradle. And that also said 58% for me. And we're not going to memorize these numbers. We don't need to keep a hold of these. We're just communicating with our body right now. How about your thighs? So between your hips and your knees, how present are your thighs? Okay, get that number. And then from your knees down to your feet, your lower leg, how present is that in your body? And go ahead and take another breath. I know we're just going to imagine those numbers slowly rising up. We're going to call ourselves back to this present moment. And it's like we've got all these little gauges and gadgets, all over these different parts of our body where we've got these percentages poking up. And now we're going to see like 58%, 59, 60, 62, 64, 68, 74. And just imagine these different parts of your body being filled with presence. And if it's not your presence, then it's the presence of something calming, of something soothing, but allowing yourself to be whole in these different parts of your body. So seeing these numbers rise up, 98, 99, 100%, 100%. Your shoulders and your arms, in your core, in your legs, in your head. And let's take one more breath. Okay. If your eyes have been closed, go ahead and open them. I'm going to set just a really quick intention. It's my intention that today, even though we're all around the world having different experiences, that as we're gathered to do this together, we form a community. And our community is strong and it's beautiful. And you are part of what makes it strong and beautiful. And you matter and you have value. And you being here is important. And whatever way you show up today is valuable and highly important. It's vital, because you connecting through who you are is allowing others to connect through where they are. And there is strength in that, regardless of where we start. We get to move somewhere better together. And it's my intention that by the end of this session, you feel better. So go ahead and take a breath. All righty. So a grounding, a centering. And I know we've got kind of these two columns of physical health and emotional health. Doesn't quite encompass everything, but that's what I'll say for now. And I really want to reach like the matching point of those. So let's say, even though right now I don't feel centered, where my body and my emotions are meeting, are clashing. I'm going to use the word clashing because it just feels like there's a lot of dissonance. So we're going to start very broad. And if you have more specifics for yourself, please use them. Substitute my words out. But that's the angle that I'm going to start with for tapping. So, and if tapping on the side of your hand doesn't work for you right now, please feel free to choose any point and proceed along them as at whatever pace you would like. You don't have to follow mine. As I focus in on myself right now, I realize I'm struggling to find a balance point where my emotions and my physical body are currently clashing. Even though right now I am highly aware of how much my emotions and my physical body are clashing, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if it will be okay. I would really like to know what's going on. I would really like to know that it's going to be okay. But even though right now I don't know, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. These big emotions, these big sensations in my body, not knowing, not knowing the full meaning, not knowing the outcome. My body, my overwhelmed body, my emotions, my overwhelmed emotions, feeling everything, feeling everything all at once, feeling all of these emotions, feeling all of these sensations, even though right now I'm feeling so much. And I'm not sure what to do with all of it yet. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this is a lot. I acknowledge this is hard. I acknowledge sometimes it feels like it's too much. And I don't know how to begin. I don't know how to feel empowered. I don't know how to begin to find a finish line to reach for. I wonder, I wonder, is the only way I could possibly get relief finding a finish line? Is that the only way? Is to get past it, get rid of it, resolve it, find a solution. Even if right now that is the only possible solution I can come up with, I deeply and completely accept myself. It is a solution, but it feels so far away, and it feels so hard, and it feels so big and complex. And what if I mess up a step? What if I choose something? What if I make a decision and it's the wrong one? What if it takes me further away from a solution? What if I make things harder? Even though I may have some or all of these concerns and others, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. These are valid questions. They're valid concerns. I could even say they're valid possibilities. So, how do I feel better? How do I move forward? Moving forward, finding other support, finding a different perspective, allowing different steps, trusting my intuition. Okay. I wonder if there were a way for me to feel better without it being my full solution, what would that be? What could that be? Maybe what I need first is space. Maybe what I need is relief. Relief from how intense all of this feels. It doesn't resolve it, but maybe it gives me a chance to think more clearly, to process more effectively, to feel supported, even if it's just me supporting myself. I give myself permission to be supported by me. But what would that look like? How do I give myself space? Giving myself space. Giving myself support. I wonder could I create an organizational system for my sensations in my body and for the emotions in my brain? Yes. No. I don't know. What would that even look like? What if I said to my brain, brain, this is too much to think about. It's too much to deal with. I cannot take care of everything with it just lying all over my metaphorical floor. What if I created boxes? And maybe I have a medical box. Maybe I have a box for different parts of my body that I get to consider and think about. Maybe I have a box for each of my emotions or for each of my situations that I feel a lot of emotions about. Maybe this helps me create a barrier and giving myself permission to think about one thing at a time. I can't think about one thing at a time. I have to think about everything all the time. Even if, as I begin to be curious about this different perspective, I feel some pushback on how I don't think it'll work, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. It might not work, but maybe it will. I know that everything all at once isn't working great. What if I allowed myself these boundaries and it does work? Well, that would be great. What if I allow myself these boundaries and it doesn't work? Well, that would be a bummer, but at least I tried, and maybe it will give me a different idea. Either way, I'm open to seeing how it works for me. Boundaries. Boundaries for my body, boundaries for my sensations, boundaries for my emotions, boundaries for my thoughts, permission from me to feel supported, permission from me to feel safe. It is okay for me to feel safe in my body. It's not okay for me to feel safe in my body. Even if, as I tell myself it's okay to feel safe in my body, I'm not sure about it. I deeply and completely accept myself. Maybe it hasn't always been safe to be in my body, to be present, to feel my feelings, to think my own thoughts. Maybe it makes a lot of sense on how my body chose out of being present to survive. how my mind chose out of being present to survive. And that's okay because you know what? I survived. I did it. I succeeded in surviving. And I acknowledge that and I allow myself to feel good about that because maybe it's a huge deal. I did it. I survived. But now I'm on a different journey. I'm on a journey to heal. I'm on a journey to build. And that looks different. And it feels different than surviving. So it makes sense that I would need different tools, that I would use a different pathway, and that I would allow different feelings. Different feelings. Different feelings for my body. Different feelings for my emotions. Different thoughts for my mind. And I may know some sensations and feelings and thoughts that I'm ready to begin to adopt. I may feel a little clueless about this right now. Whether or not I have clarity on what I do want and what I do want to include, I deeply and completely accept myself. Maybe I can make boxes for those too. Maybe I have boxes not just for all the things that I'm shoving in a corner until I can deal with it, but maybe I have a box to fill, a box of happy things, a box of confident things, a box of strong things, a box of joyful things, a box of funny things, a box of loving things, a box of safe things. How lovely would it be to take time to put things in those boxes? And maybe as I allow myself this governing control over my body, my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, I'll get different ideas. Maybe I'll feel different about a same idea. Maybe I'll feel more clarity. Maybe I'll feel more confidence. Maybe the next step will feel easier. And while it's true, this does not give me my end solution. It's okay. Because what it does do is it offers me so many choices and so much support and an ability to feel better as I continue to seek my end goal. My end goal. Doesn't it make sense for me to allow myself to be nurtured and grounded and have the opportunity to make solid decisions all along the way? Nah. Makes so much more sense for me to be overwhelmed and stressed and hurting and not sleeping and not eating or eating too much and putting myself in pain and making choices that I later regret, and then just trying to make that huge leap all the way to the end, even if that's how I've operated in the past. That's my past. Even if I did it 5 minutes ago, that is still in my past. And I release it because I do have different choices now. I have different thoughts. I have different actions. I have different ideas. I have different support. I can let that old function go and I release it from my body. Releasing, releasing from my body. My old function, release. My old outcome, release. My old patterns, release. And as I continue to engage myself to my finish line, I give myself permission to engage these new thoughts and these new actions to whatever degree I am capable. And it's okay if that looks different from day to day. I choose to see my progress. I choose to see my progress. I choose to see my progress. And I give myself permission to feel strong in my progress, choosing my progress, choosing to see my progress. All of my boxes. And as I continue to seek balance at this point of where my body and my thoughts and my emotions collide, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, go ahead and pause tapping and take a breath. Take just a moment, focus on, think about your body, how it felt before we began that tap, and how it feels now. Your thoughts. Do they feel quieter? Do they feel more positive? Do you feel better? If so, good job. Those are signs that you have communicated successfully with your subconscious brain. And it's saying, you know what, those are good ideas. I think I'll support you in that. And now you've got that consistent choo choo train, I did lacking words, chugging along with your new train of thought. And that's a big deal. So good job. Also, if you had any releases of yawning, crying, sighing, giggling, feeling tired, those are all really positive signs as well. Okay, I'm going to check the chat real fast. Okay, hi, John. You did arrive at a good time. I'm glad you're here. So, that has happened so much in the last few years. Finding hope. You're so welcome, Lauren. Okay, Mama Hutch, thank you. I started full of tears and now I feel hopeful. Yay! I have different choices with some happy, strong, silly new boxes. Yay! Good job. Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, my heart is just like, whoa. Good job. Good job, everyone. Oh, I'm so grateful that I could be a part of that for you. Yay. Okay. Um, we have enough time for one more. So let's just see. I'm kind of feeling like mm, continuing on, building on what we just did with maybe like finding ways to support. That's not quite it. Um, seeing. I use that word, seeing possibilities around me, seeing positivity, seeing um, progress. So just gaining permission from oneself to see. So a lot of times we make efforts and then get discouraged because those efforts, maybe we set like a point in our minds of like, okay, this effort's going to get me there. And if it doesn't get us there, then we're like, oh, it didn't work, but maybe it got us here. But we're blind to this because we're looking over here and we're like, nope, I'm not there. I'm not there, but we're here. And that's still a good amount of ways from here. So permission to see. Um, I'm actually getting really excited about tapping on this with you. What you want to see, you can choose something specific. I will be vague in my language just so that I don't rabbit hole anybody with leading you. You can be more specific with it, and if your word changes throughout the tap, that's okay. Don't feel like you have to keep it tight to one thing. This is more a permission of function from your subconscious brain. Can we be allowed to see the positive sides of things? Particularly when we're weighed down for a long period of time or with something really big or something really complex, that becomes really hard to focus on. So, okay, with all those words, permission to see. I want to add in a little bit more permission to see what I want, permission to see the outcome, permission to see mm, the positive, but I don't like that because there's too many things attached to that word. Permission. I'm just gonna stick with permission to see. Okay, nothing else is coming that's clarifying it further, so I'm just gonna move on, and we'll just stick with that. Okay. So when you think of permission to see, what pops into your head? What is it that you want permission to see? Even if you don't think it's possible, even if you don't see how, like, well, I should ask for something else. Allow yourself to explore this because you can repeat this tap as many times as you want. This isn't a one-time thing. Okay. So allow yourself to gather whatever that is, permission to see. As I continue to build on how to offer myself love and support, I ask my brain and my body for permission to see. My consciousness has a way of seeing a certain way, seeing certain things, processing information. And as I tap right now, I ask my body and my brain to align with me, to align with me consciously, that we might all speak the same language, that we might all express in a familiar tone so that I can understand, so that I can see. Because I have a desire to see my body. And I have certain viewpoints already, but I ask permission from myself to see more, to see more deeply, to see more broadly, that I may have more complete answers and ideas, more thorough points of connection for my body, seeing my body, permission to see my body, permission to see my body, not just visually, but to see how wonderfully it functions on a cellular level, how all of those organs communicate, all of my cells communicate, and they live and they die and they reproduce inside of me. I am this beautiful organism that houses all of these other tiny little bits. And body, I would love to see. I would love to connect. And as I tap, brain, mind, thoughts, I ask to connect. I ask to see. I ask to see you, to hear you in ways that are more dynamic, more multi-dimension, that I can collaborate in a way that we haven't yet. I wonder, do feelings collaborate? Aren't they just a reaction? Even if right now, my perception might be that my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions are simply reactions. I hold space for this curiosity and the potential to learn more. Seeing my thoughts, understanding nuance, understanding metaphors, understanding even if it's incomplete, even if it's confusing, even if it doesn't really seem to fit. I appreciate that I have thoughts. I deeply appreciate that I have a mind. And I deeply appreciate that I have emotions. I accept them as important and beautiful parts of me, even if sometimes I'm not quite sure what to do with them. I ask to better see my options. My thoughts. Seeing my thoughts. Hearing my thoughts. Understanding my thoughts. Seeing my emotions. Hearing my emotions, understanding my emotions, and permission to connect with all parts of what I feel. And my brain, my beautiful brain, this incredible organ, this mysterious, well protected with my aesthetics organ that I have, and all that that encompasses for me. Brain, you are important to me. And I have a limited understanding of what you do. I ask to see so that I can collaborate and support your efforts to make them our efforts, so that all parts of me are collaborating as one, so that all parts of me are moving forward in sync. As I lay out this ask to my body, to my mind, I deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this ask is powerful. I acknowledge that it feels pretty good right now. And I acknowledge that the next step might be a little confusing. How do I move on from here? It's okay if I don't know, because all parts of me will move forward together. And I give myself permission to receive consciously, being able to see. And as I receive these connections, I deeply and completely accept myself. And now continue to tap and just breathe. But in whatever way works for you, visualize or conceptualize those connections. See your body agreeing. See your brain agreeing, and everybody going, yeah, let's do this. I like this. Whether it's an energy movement or you see strings connecting, it's more of a feeling of agreement, of different layers settling in on top of each other, just perfectly fitting into place. Feel and see this connection. Okay, go ahead and pause on tapping and take a deep breath. Very well done. Now take a moment to just acknowledge how you feel. Do you feel more woven together? Do you feel more aware of something, even if you can't quite put a word to it yet? Do you feel more connected in your body? Do you feel more whole somehow? Do you feel more confidence and the connection with your brain? Do you feel more settled, more peaceful, more hopeful? Do you feel less of something else? That was something that you wanted to let go of. If you do, those are all really good signs that your brain has agreed with what you just tapped on and is now going to work with you towards making this an integrated part of moving forward. So really good job. And that puts us right at time. So um, I don't want to do any more words, but let's just go through the tapping spots and just we're going to move kind of fast through them. I just want to just give you a little bit of grounding, just kind of coming back to the present moment. The intention is to have your brain kind of, we're here now. Okay, we're moving kind of fast. Let's just really focus in on what's happening here. Okay. And you can swipe down your arms and just kind of help you come back to this present moment. And ready to go throughout the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here with me for this session this week. I appreciate you as our community, both in how you show up for yourself and for others, because all of it ends up being for each other. I promise you that you being here and every comment that you've made has allowed someone else to feel seen and to feel not alone. So thank you. And even if you didn't make any comments, the little ticker number that shows that you are here, that matters too. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope that I get to see you again next Tuesday. I'll be thinking about you and I love you. Mwah. I'll see you soon.